Let me paint you a picture and see if it feels uncomfortably familiar. Meet Alex and Sarah. They're not struggling artists. They're not living recklessly. They're not bad with money. Alex works in IT, earning about $70,000 a year. Sarah is in marketing, bringing in roughly $60,000 together. That's over $130,000 a year. On paper, they're doing great. Actually, they're doing better than most. Statistically, that income puts them well above the median American household. So why do they feel broke? Why does their savings account barely cover a few months of expenses? Why does a single car repair end up on a credit card? Why do vacations feel stressful instead of exciting? And why do they constantly feel like one bad month away from real trouble? They followed the script perfectly. College, careers, marriage, a house in a good area, 2 full-time jobs, no wild spending habits, and yet they're exhausted, anxious, and financially fragile. If you've ever looked at your household income and thought, "Woo, make way too much money to feel this stressed," this video is for you. The lie we all bought into. Somewhere along the way we were sold a simple idea. 2 incomes are better than 1. It sounds logical. If 1 income can support a household, then 2 incomes should mean comfort, savings, and freedom, right? But that logic quietly broke down, and almost no one noticed when it happened. What actually emerged was something economists later called the 2-income trap. The idea was popularized years ago by Elizabeth Warren, long before she entered politics, when she studied thousands of bankrupt families. Her conclusion shocked a lot of people. Households with 2 full-time earners were often more financially vulnerable than households with just 1, not because they were careless, not because they lacked discipline, but because the system changed around them. A quick trip back in time. Let's rewind a few decades. In the 1960s and 70s, most middle-class families ran on 1 primary income. One parent worked, the other handled the household. And here's the part people forget: that single income usually worked. Housing took up a manageable portion of income. Healthcare costs were reasonable. Childcare wasn't a line item because someone was home. And most importantly, families had margin. If the main earner lost a job, the second adult could step into the workforce. That second income wasn't required to survive. It was a safety net. Fast forward to today. Now, 2 incomes aren't a bonus, they're a requirement. And that's where the trap snaps shut. We earn more, but we owe more. Yes, households today earn more money than previous generations when adjusted for inflation. But the cost of existing has exploded. Home prices have doubled relative to income. Healthcare costs have increased several times over. Childcare can rival a second rent payment. Education costs have skyrocketed. Commuting, insurance, and convenience spending are unavoidable. The result? Every dollar from the second paycheck gets absorbed before it ever reaches savings. So instead of 2 incomes creating security, they inflated the price of entry into the middle class. What the second income really produces. Let's break this down with a realistic example. Imagine one partner earns a $75,000 and the other earns a $50,000. That extra $50,000 feels powerful until you follow it. Taxes eat a big chunk immediately. Childcare wipes out another massive portion. Transportation, gas, maintenance, parking, or even a second car drains more. Exhaustion leads to higher spending on food, convenience, and services. By the end of the year, that second income might contribute very little, sometimes even negative value, once all the indirect costs are counted. And yet households still build their lives around that gross number. Where the real danger lies, the biggest problem isn't the math, it's the commitment. Couples buy homes sized for 2 incomes. They take on payments that only work if both paychecks keep coming forever. There's no slack, no backup, no margin for illness, layoffs, burnout, or family emergencies. One income disappears, and suddenly the whole structure starts cracking. That's why so many financially successful households are one surprise bill away from panic. The bidding war nobody talks about. As 2-income households became normal, prices adjusted upward. Homes in good school districts became bidding wars. Education became tied to mortgages instead of tuition. Childcare became unavoidable instead of optional. Everyone brought more money to the table, so the table got more expensive. No one really won. The shift that changes everything. So what's the solution? It's not telling one partner to quit tomorrow. It's not shaming people for needing 2 incomes. It's a mindset shift. Stop treating both incomes as permanent and guaranteed. Instead, build your life so that one income can carry the essentials: housing, food, insurance, transportation. The second income becomes a tool, not a lifeline. Savings, investments, debt elimination, optional upgrades. This creates something modern households desperately lack: flexibility. Why flexibility is the real wealth. Flexibility means choices. It means one partner can step back if needed, It means job loss doesn't trigger panic. It means health issues don't threaten your home. It means you control your time instead of your expenses controlling you. Over time, investing that second income builds real security, the kind that doesn't disappear when a paycheck stops. The final reframe. This isn't really about income. It's about margin. Our grandparents didn't have bigger houses or newer cars, but they had resilience. We traded that resilience for appearances. 2 paychecks don't equal safety if both are already spent before they arrive. The households that thrive today aren't the highest earners. They're the ones who refuse to let their lifestyle demand every dollar they make. You can't escape a trap you don't recognize. Now you see it. The real question is what you're going to do with that knowledge.